Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing the file narration series with the operator voice files added on top for the various operators in Arknights. And quick reminder, we are going currently through the third round of these in each category. We went through, in each round, we went through one character per category of the same rarity, and are currently going through the 4 stars and are now in the sniper category. The only other requirements for this series are that the operator has whatever maximum promotion is needed for the entire file, plus whatever maximum trust is needed. So today we are gonna be looking at Ambriel, and honestly was halfway thinking of doing Shirayuki for this one, but opted into doing Ambriel because, well, there is a certain new event that's gonna be this week, which features a lot of Laterano shit. So I was looking at a category, looking at the 3 here that fit the bill, and was like, oh yeah, I should do Ambriel's story, or rather file. Why not? But yeah, anyway, I've already featured Ambriel in the module short story, so that will be linked in the description and at the end of the episode on the screen. So if you want to hear more about Ambriel and her shenanigans and her resourcefulness, I guess would be the appropriate word here, you can watch that one. But as a unit, all I can say is a pretty interesting unit, all things considered. Considering that you see this massive range, well, that doesn't matter. Just pop her second skill and she can shoot anywhere. It does, however, slow her down, but still, she does already decent damage, does a bunch of more damage, and then thanks to her module, if the things are out of her reach, and the more they are out of her reach, she gets even stronger. So yeah, damage. Plus she gets a stun if she hits stuff that is outside of her normal range, which is an interesting thing, all things considered. But yeah, mechanically wise, interesting unit. Didn't really have, I personally didn't have any experience with this unit outside of when I was going for her module a couple of, what is it now, like 2 months ago or something like that. Played around with her a bit afterwards. Pretty interesting. Works very well, I would say. I wonder if she is gonna have more module upgrades in the future. Would make it even more interesting, probably. Or who the hell knows, maybe even an alter version. But as a character, well, we're gonna learn a tiny bit from her file, but her module story kind of paints an even better picture of her as a character. For the voice lines, sadly, she is well, one of the more so side characters, I guess you could call it. So yeah, only Japanese voice files exist, so you will have to pay attention to the screen once we get to those parts. But let's get into the file, shall we? So, codename Ambriel, gender female, combat experience 1 year, place of birth Laterano, date of birth January 13th, race. Okay, that was a weird skip in audio. Date of birth January 13th, race Sancta, height 160 centimeters, confirmed uninfected by medical examination. Physical exam. Physical strength, normal mobility standard, physical resilience, normal tactical acumen standard, combat skills standard, Originium arts assimilation standard. This has never been more true. Considering her personality and everything else, this one has never been more true to a character. Jesus. Anyway, sorry. Continuing. Profile. Ambriel is a citizen of Laterano. After many tests, she was allowed to join Rhode Island, where her skills in ambushing and long-range sniping helped her perform well in asymmetric operations. She now serves in the Rhode Island Sniper team, providing long-range support. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there are no other signs of infection. At this time, this operator can be confirmed to be uninfected. Cell Originium assimilation 0%, operator Ambriel shows no signs of reperfuge infection. Blood Originium crystal density 0.13 units per liter. Operator Ambriel rarely comes into contact with Originium. Again, just as a reminder, even if someone never ever comes into direct contact with Originium, there is always going to be this tiny little amount in the blood system. Anyway, continuing. Archive file number 1. Ambriel was born in Laterano. In accordance with the tactical philosophy of the Sancta, Ambriel uses only a gun as her combat weapon of choice. However, unlike most of the other Sancta warriors who pursued modern gun kata techniques, Ambriel chose an outdated but classic rifle. After a simple modification and the installation of additional parts, this long-range gun quickly proved its worth in subsequent battles. In Ambriel's words, the only reason she chose this gun was to avoid trouble. She has no desire to engage in close combat with a shorter-ranged gun, nor did she want to lug around the unwieldy components of a modern sniper rifle. Even though she uses a weapon that is considered anachronistic for the modern battlefield because of her low-key nature and relatively inconspicuous position, she basically gets her work done, and therefore the top brass has no reason to find any fault with her. Also, I had to look because even though in the sentence that it's used and the place it's used at, anachronistic is a word I literally never heard, I think, so I had to look it up. Says a thing belonging or appropriate to a period other than that in which it exists, especially a thing that is conspicuously old-fashioned. So yeah, basically old gun in modern times being used on modern battlefields, type of, in this case at least. But yeah, continuing. Despite being a Sancta, Ambriel doesn't seem much different from the ordinary person. She's easygoing and not too striking, not seeming out of place to others wherever she might appear. If not for the long gun she carries in her hands, she doesn't seem much different from a student who just left school. After taking a post in Rhode Island, Ambriel did not exhibit any unique hobbies. She enjoys snacks and desserts, and likes watching simple TV shows and movies with themes that don't require much thought. On her off days, she sometimes meets and chats with other Sancta operators. When people did notice her, it was mostly about the gun in her hands. Since operators thoroughly unfamiliar with gun kata would often proselytize its power and benefits, these conversations often escalated into controversy. In this regard, Ambriel would quietly sit down and listen to these discussions, thinking silently to herself, "Good, now fight." Quoting a bit Godzilla there, I guess, or paraphrasing, but yeah, another word that I was like, what the hell does that even mean? And it's pronounced like this?
Proselytize.
That was very loud, sorry. Holy shit. But says, convert or attempt to convert someone from one religion, belief, or opinion to another. So yeah, basically, people trying to convert her to, well, use a more modern gun. Also, sorry about the volume, Jesus Christ, I wasn't aware that this was gonna be so loud. Hopefully that didn't blow anybody's ear out. Jesus. Anyway, continuing. Archive file number 3. An answer that you'll often get from Ambriel is, "I want something a bit more practical." However, even she doesn't have a good idea of what that practicality looks like. Generally speaking, practical refers to a satisfactory salary, stable relationships, trendy products that are novel and interesting, intoxicating luxury goods, and glamorous decorations. In summation, isn't that just materialism? Archive file number 4. Operator Ambriel's personality is rather elusive, and even she has no idea what her personality is supposed to be. Perhaps she is simply accustomed to a life of stasis, and has not had an opportunity that really allows her to see herself clearly. An opportunity like this is also a chance for a massive change. Does Ambriel possess the will to change? Everything depends on the choices she makes. I love this sentence, by the way. Sorry for the chuckle there, but yeah. Personality rather elusive, and even she has no idea what her personality is supposed to be. Fits? But yeah. Again, I don't think I've echoed this before, but this freaking game keeps teaching me new English words that I've never heard about before. So I guess thank you, game. Quick reminder, I am not English. If that wasn't obvious already, I am not. So thank you, game, I guess, for teaching me weird words and trivia. But yeah, let's get into the voice file, shall we? Which means I'm gonna mute myself and you guys get to listen to Ambriel.
今日はなんかやることあんの？急ぎじゃないならまた今度にしようよ。私はアーツで周りの生物を感知できるんだけど、この機会があればさらにその力をパワーアップできんのね。やべえっしょ。まあそれで守衛隊にパトロールなんか任されてたんだけどね。つっても授業をサボってるやつを補導すんのが仕事。物は使いようってわけね。めんどいから先に言っとくけど、ラテラーノの秘密なんかこれっぽっちも知らないから、私は何も考えずにぼーっと生きてたいだけ。悠々自適って言うんだっけか。いろいろ知りすぎていいことなんてない。わかるっしょ？あれ、あいつもしかして交渉人役場の？私の義務履行を監視に？マジ勘弁だわ。毎月ちゃんと税金払ってるっしょ。まあどっちにしろ次にあいつが来た時は逃げやすいようにこっそり教えてよね。前さ、今だったからブリッジでサボっていや景色を眺めてたわけ。したらみんな私が誰かを狙撃しようとしてるって誤解したくさくてさ、殺し屋扱いされちゃったんだよね。そんな鬼めんどい仕事なんかやるわけねえっつーの。前の上司は命を懸けてラテラーノの栄光を守れなんてしょうもないことをいつも言ってたけどさ、そんなの毛ほども興味なかったし、代わり映えしない生活にもマジで萎えてた。やっぱロドスが最強かな。ここにいればよっぽど実のあるものを得られるっていうか。髪がぐちゃぐちゃ？そういや起きてからちゃんと直してないわ。今日は任務もないしね。だる。ちょっと横見てよ。結び目んとこが変な感じするんだよね。てかさ、執務室にも鏡くらい置こうよ。はい、ケーキ持ってきたよ。てかさ、休みの時はいつも何してるわけ？たまには外出て街ブラとかよくない？ボディーガードね。近づいてくる悪い奴らをいつでもパパッと蜂の巣にできるオペレーターをさ、その辺で適当にひっ捕まえて連れてきゃいいのよ。完璧っしょ。ねえねえ、仕事もそろそろ終わるっしょ。映画でも見ちゃわない？お姫様と外国から来た旅人が出会うラブロマンスなんて売り文句のあれ。ちょい待ち。取り込み中のプレートをドアにかけとくわ。邪魔されたらたまったもんじゃないかんね。何しよっかなーと。私はアンブリエル、ラテラーノ出身の狙撃手でさ、自己紹介なんてめんどいからもうこんぐらいでいいっしょ。はい、 さっき開けたばっかのチョコ、まあ1本食っときなって。長すぎっしょ。一括再生的な機能ないの？はざーす。さ、昇進ってもしかして給料も上がったりするの？うん、ちょっと買いたいものがあってさ。マジで？サンキュー。ロドスに来てもうそんなになるんだね。ここではたくさんのものをもらったよ。どれもみんな素敵な思い出なんだよね。あ、みんなやりそうな面構えじゃん。先に言っとくよ。私の好きな戦術はちょっと変わってるかんね。準備オッケー。じゃあ行くよ。夜ご飯までに終わりゃいいけどさ。この1本が最後だからちょい待ち。補助モジュール展開っと。フォートキャリブレーション中よ。ここね。あんたそれ隠れられてないよ。外は危ないからね。家まで送ろうか？毎回こんだけできるってさすがドクターじゃん。無駄玉はなし。完璧。まあちょっとまずったけど勝ちは勝ちっしょ。見るからに敵の数が増えてきてる。総攻撃の体勢じゃん。ドクター早く撤退しよう。ドクター、自販機のビスケットの補充おなしゃーす。何よ、新しい服が入荷したってマジ？ねえドクター、こりゃ行くしかないっしょ。アークナイツよ。
Yo. That's literally it. But yeah, this will do it for today's episode. One final thing that I forgot to mention earlier, I do love one thing about her design, and it's, even though her E2 is very simple, there is something that I do love in between these two, and it's the difference in coloring between, and I find that weird considering I haven't noticed that with the other Sancta really, unless it's the fallen ones who have like broken halos and stuff, but I haven't really noticed this on Exia, for example, when between her regular stance and her like ready for battle stance, because those two do exist in her art style as well. But the difference here also, by the way, this glow from her wings being reflected into the hair looks absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's darker. It's darker, and there is a second ring, which hopefully stuff like that gets covered in this week's new side story, because I'm very interested why that is. I don't remember ever hearing about it, if that's a canonical thing or like I'm ready for battle, something triggers inside of them or whatever the hell. But yeah, interesting what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting phenomena. But yeah, anyway, this will do it for Ambriel. Last thing I can say is, can we please have skin? Please? But yeah, this will do it for today's final narration. So as always, I hope you all have a fantastic day. This has been Jacob, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.